Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is a quick bonus video because I've just heard the news that SELLIER Knightsbridge has been burgled and it's just horrific. It's just horrific, and I just wanted to address a few things because there's quite a few comments on some of the Instagram reels that SELLIER have put up, and I just want to give my two penneth, so let's get going. So I don't know if you guys have seen this news, but it is all over Instagram, and my initial reaction when I see something like this happening in the world is, what on earth? What on earth? Why does somebody think it's okay to steal anything from anybody else? Honestly, I just think it's just absolutely horrific, because people, and there's quite a few comments of this, and I want to address this, and I will come on to this later as well, but people who steal things often think, I assume, oh, it's okay, they're insured, they can afford to lose it. And it isn't about that. It is not about whether you are insured or not. It is about people's livelihoods, people's business. And this is also about other people being affected, as in, let's go back to the beginning. So SELLIER Knightsbridge are a reseller. They have a lot of things that are on consignment. When something is on consignment, that item does not belong to SELLIER Knightsbridge. That item belongs to the client. So for example, I've been using this for the first time today, by the way. This is my Alma BB. Anyway, if I decided to sell this, I may send it to somewhere like SELLIER Knightsbridge, and they will have it on display in one of their stores for somebody to come in and hopefully buy. You agree a price and all the rest of it, they agree the commission and whatever else. And if that bag sells, you then get the remainder, they get their commission. That bag never belongs to them. Their sale, in effect, is just the commission. But what that means in terms of a business is they are holding items in stock that actually don't belong to that company. They are owned by all of these other clients. So if they are stolen, that is not a matter of the company's assets or stock being stolen. This is external clients' items being stolen. So I have never worked in insurance, but I do know from my business experience that this will be an absolute mess and an absolute nightmare for the company and for the insurance company, because how on earth are you going to compensate somebody? So say for example, I had sent this off to SELLIER and they had that in their store and it was stolen last night, for example. How do you value that bag when it comes to insurance purposes? Is it what I paid for it? Is it what it's worth? And this comes into play more and more when we talk about hermes, so we'll talk about hermes in a minute. But how on earth do these things get valued as to what is stolen for the client? Because who knows what it would have sold for? It hadn't sold. So it may be that it had just appeared that day for sale. Who knows what its value is? And I'm sure the insurance companies will argue, as they do, to give away as little as possible. And even if, just on this as well, even if the insurance company fully pay out for every single potential loss of earnings, and we'll come on to that as well, and every single bag that's stolen, the person gets their rightful amount back and everything else, which won't happen, but even if it did, all it means is the insurance premiums go sky high for claiming. So one way or another, this is a nightmare for the company. So let's just talk about hermes for an example. So say that I want to, let's grab this one. Say I decide I want to sell this Birkin 25. This will have cost me X amount. So say for example that bag cost me £6,000 to buy direct from store. If I want to sell that and I'm going to send it off to SELLIER on consignment and hope that they can sell it for me, I don't want 6,000 for it. I might want 15,000 for it, 17,000 for it. I don't know what the figure is. The figure is whatever the market tells you at the time, but the market value of that is very different to the cost price of that. And that is where things that rise in value are very difficult to prove when they are stolen, because the insurance company are not going to pay you £17,000 for that bag because it only costs 6 and your proof of purchase, for example, is 6. But you know the value to somebody else is so much more than that, more than double that. So this is where it gets really messy for the person. I don't know what to tell you, because Sellier are going to be in that situation where the insurance company will not pay them 17 for that bag, like a customer might come in and pay that for that bag, and therefore they can take their commission and pay whatever the agreed amount back to the client. But if they have to compensate their client with the amount that they agreed, where do they get that money from? Because the insurance company are not going to pay it. So it's just have a little think about this when people are putting comments on there saying, oh, it's nothing, why are you worried about, there's bigger things happening in the world. Of course there are bigger things happening in the world, but this is a nightmare for that company. And that company, whether it's a small company, whether it's a large corporation, that company is part of the economy, and that company is employing people. It's people's livelihoods that we are talking about. And therefore, yes, it's not the end of the world. Somebody put on the comments, it's not the end of the world. Of course it's not the end of the world. And of course we could find something worse in the world to talk about. But for these people who are just trying to make a living, or just earning their wage by working there, or these people that are selling some of their things in order to recoup some money, who knows why they are selling their bags. It affects a lot of people, and it's wrong. At the end of the day, when people talk about, oh, Sellier should have done this and Sellier should have done that, what about the thieves? They shouldn't be doing it. You know, it's mind-boggling, isn't it? Now, I hope that Sellier have a really good stock system, as in they know exactly what was in store, where it was, and what has been taken. I assume that they are very, very clear on what they have at any one time. So I'm hoping that that is a given. It might not be for some firms, but I assume it will be for Sellier. They will know exactly what's gone, and they will be in contact with the clients that it affects, and they're going to have to sort that out, and it is literally a nightmare. They have then got the actual store to sort out, the damage that's been caused, even just the cost of sorting out glass everywhere, new door needed, new window needed, cabinets, whatever. All these things cost money, and it is never covered by insurance. And even if it is covered by insurance, there will be some downtime for that store to get up and running again. So there will be loss of earnings, plus the fact they've lost the earnings of the commission of the things that's been stolen. And that is the argument they've got of loss of earnings, loss of profit with the insurance company. And that will be literally, as I keep saying, that'll be a nightmare for them. So let's just think about what these people are going through, who are just trying to run a business and just trying, you know, to help these clients to sell stuff and to make some money, because that's what business is all about. So for me, when I see things, honestly, there's some comments that are just sort of inappropriate, and I think people just don't get it. They've probably never been in business, they probably don't understand how a business works, and that's why these flippant comments are thrown out there, and they really don't understand. One thing that keeps coming back on the comments is that you didn't have enough security. Everything should go in a safe. You should have shutter doors. You shouldn't have a glass door for them to just be able to get in. Well, some of that may be so, but what you also need to understand is that a lot of these stores, particularly in central London, they are leasehold, and the landlords, and there are certain requirements that you have to abide by. You cannot put certain things on the front of your store. You cannot change the look of a window and the look of a door. It's all like listed buildings, and it's an absolute minefield. So it may be that they couldn't have shutters down the front. It may be that the thieves would get in anyway. If there was shutters, it might just take them a little bit longer. It may be that the security things they had inside were adequate, but thieves can get in anyway. It's amazing how the thieves, you know, are managed to get into these things anyway. So I cannot comment on whether their security, whether the CCTV obviously was there, didn't make any difference. They just wear balaclavas. They don't care, do they? That nobody's going to chase them up. The police aren't going to bother. So it's just, the police come to give you a crime number just for your insurance. That's as much as they will do. I don't know. I just think, yeah, I can't comment on whether their security could have been better. But also, what I want to talk about is the future of Sellier. So how does Sellier go forward from this? How did they reassure their clients in a time that's really tumultuous for them? How did they reassure potential clients that it is safe to send their bags to Sellier again? This could completely and utterly ruin their business, as in, I might think, do you know what, I'm not going to send this to Sellier because they have been burgled and it could happen again, and I don't want my bag going missing. So no, I'm not going to post it to them. If they don't have all these security measures, or if they can't reassure me that it's safe, they could literally lose their business overnight. Absolutely could. And is that fair? Is that right? Because somebody decides that they think that they can come and take other people's things. It's just absolutely, it's so wrong. It is so wrong. So what can we do as a community when we are trying to support everybody else in this community? What can we actually do? Well, we could support Sellier, couldn't we? And we could, I don't know, comment, share their things, and we could maybe put it out there so that if we know which bags have been stolen, keep an eye out for them. Let the police know, let Sellier know if you see something on a Facebook group or on Vestiaire or wherever, another reseller site. We can all keep our eye out, can't we, if we know what's been stolen, as to if it's something that's particularly rare, for example. It may be that we could help that way. I think the main thing that we all can do is just support the local businesses and just, yeah, I don't know, it's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard because most of us do feel quite helpless when something like this happens, but we can just be strong as a community, and you don't let it put somebody out of business, because the thieves are not actually trying to put you out of business. They're just trying to nick a few things to make a quick buck. It's just absolutely terrible. So anyway, I would like to know what you guys think. I don't want any ridiculous comments, please, on mine, because I think putting flippant comments of things just doesn't help. This is a real horrible thing that's happened. And yes, as I've said, there are much worse things happening in the world, but this is very devastating to that company and to everybody that works there and the clients that have their bags there. And yeah, can we not give them a little bit of support? Anyway, that's my two penneth. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on another one.